Hey guys, quick video just to show you how to grab a JPEG off the internet and vectorize it so that we can scan it or cut it into one of our laser jobs. What I've done here is I've right clicked and I've gone save picture as of my image from Google, and then normally what would happen is it's a fairly easy process. I can normally go import, go to my original file from Google, place it into my drawing, make sure it's selected, and go to this bitmap handle, and here I can say get outline, and what that will do is normally it will run an outline around my shapes and it will leave me with two images. You can play around with the brightness and contrast. Sometimes that will make the computer pick up the fine detail, but I haven't had a great deal of success with RDWorks on complicated drawings. It's okay for simple logos and things like that. Anyway, I'll show you what happens, and I'll show you how to fix it. So I'm going to go get outline and okay. What's happened is there's an outline underneath my bitmap here. If I grab that and drag it to the left, or sorry, to the right, I've got my outline. While it's selected, I'm going to make it blue so that it is a scan and not a cut. I'm then going to grab my original drawing, delete it, and you would think that, oh yeah, it's going to do a fairly good job and it's going to fill in these areas dark and make this silhouette that we want. We won't know until we go to preview, just up the top here, and you'll see that it hasn't worked at all. So I'll show you how to make it work. And if we have a look for the rod, it's done a single line. It hasn't created a region for it to fill in, and there's lots of broken areas here. So to fix this problem, if you go into Adobe Illustrator, and I'm just going to delete all this stuff here, and if you were to go File, Place, and you place the original, what we're going to do is we're going to do a trace on this image. So if I go Image Trace, and we'll make sure it's black and white. What we can then do is, your screen will look like this. Before you expand it, click on this little tab here and this panel will come up. You can now play around with the threshold and you'll see the image change quite dramatically. So if I bring that up there, I get a lot of the detail back in the image, which is great, and I can just left click anywhere on the white space and that will lock that in as such. From here, what you're going to do is you click on the image and you need to make sure that you expand the image. From there, you would think that you just save it as an AI file, but that's not the case. It doesn't seem to work very well. What you're going to do is you're going to go File, Export, Export As, and to avoid confusion, what I've been doing is I've been calling the image what it is when it's in its original form, and then I've been labeling it what I've done to it afterwards. So I've got doc after trace and expand. So I just save that, export it as a JPEG. From there, I'm just going to import this file here. So it's the doc after trace and expand. It comes in much larger than it did first time round, which should help me out. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go bitmap, same as before, get outline. It's looking pretty good. And I'll click OK. I'm going to move the JPEG off the top, delete it. We'll now go for print screen, our preview of our print, and you can see that all the detail is back. This little area here is actually another drawing underneath. So we've got the detail of the rods and everything else, which is good. So it has worked. What I need to do now is that didn't work too well. What I recommend, guys, I'm just going to go Control Z, and I'm going to place it in again. This time I'll see if I click over here and I'll go place. I'll drag it over there so it's out of the way, so it's not on top. That's what I should have done first time round. Now, get outline, click OK, grab the outline, take it over somewhere so it's not in the way and you can easily select it. Delete that, you don't need that. That's one of my fails from before, I'll delete that as well. Just clean this drawing up. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this whole image by lassoing it, and I can simply grab a corner, shrink it down and drag it over to my job. And here's one I prepared earlier, so that's done now. Not too crazy, but you've just got to remember these steps, and putting it into AI and doing an export as JPEG and then bringing it back across. I'd love to find a simpler way. I've looked everywhere, but this seems to be the go at the moment for those more complex logos and images that we want to vectorize.